So Jenner made quite the splash over the weekend at CPAC. Remind me again what conservatives are supposed to be conserving. I mean, what about Jenner's platform is conservative in any way?
No, you're absolutely right. The right needs to stop caving on social issues. They need to stop ceding ground to the left and allowing them to form the narrative. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that now we're trying to give them the fight over transgender issues, which is a pretty bipartisan issue, especially if you look at the polling on males in female sports. It's very much a 70-30 issue. So there's no reason we should be caving on this issue from a political standpoint and from an ideological standpoint, from the standpoint of science. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that we have to bend to the left's demands that we redefine gender and that gender becomes fluid and that a man can become a woman or a woman a man and vice versa. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. And every time we've ceded ground on these issues, the goalposts keep moving. The Overton window keeps moving in favor of the left. So all these conservative organizations, these conservative pundits, activists, whoever they are, if they're trying to cave on this, like you said, to own the libs in supporting Jenner, it's an absolutely ridiculous proposition. It's going to hurt us politically, and it just shows that we have no principles if we continue down this path.
And that's why sometimes we look at the GOP of today, and in many ways they sound like the Democrats of just 10 years ago, whether it be on some of these moral issues, but also looking at some other issues that Jenner supports is a pathway to citizenship, as they put it, for all the illegal immigrants living here in California. And yet at the same time, he says he wants to fix a lot of the underlying issues in California that's causing people to flee, causing crime, causing all the money drain that we're seeing. And of course, one of those issues is the illegal immigration problem that we have. And he's someone who actually supports the pathway to citizenship. That's something Democrats were supporting, or they still do, obviously, today. But now we're seeing a lot more Republicans also claiming to support that as well. So concerning there. But I think part of the problem here is how we've recasted the trans debate. I know the sports issue is a big one, but sometimes in conservative media, that tends to be almost the only thing anyone talks about. And they only talk about the sports issue. And then, of course, their first go-to and their only go-to is this idea of fairness. And I get that. I've made that point before, but to me, that's more of a side issue than the objective reality. Because look at the left. They're trying to tell us that objective reality itself doesn't exist. And I think that's the bigger issue that then leads to a myriad of other issues. Because look at Jenner. All he says is, well, then let's just start him younger. Do you think there's a problem there?
No, absolutely. There is a problem, and that's part of the left's agenda. I mean, they're just really destroying the very fabric of our society. Yes, the girls' sports issue is bad, but this is an all-encompassing issue, as you're saying. They're redefining terms. They're waging a war on language, on science, on biology, on a whole slew of things. I mean, they're destroying femininity. They're destroying women. I mean, because are they really the party that's pro-women? If anyone can become a woman? It's just insane. Now they're using the terms birthing persons. It's all dehumanizing. It's all part of their cultural revolution that they're pushing. And this is just one plank of that. And they're hoping that people will continue to cede ground on the margins, that they'll just, give up on this issue so they appear to be more tolerant or more fair, or they get invited to parties, or they seem more palpable and less conservative and less icky. But that's how we lose. People want people with principles. They want candidates. They want elected officials to stand their ground, to be firm on these issues, particularly on social issues, which we've ceded ground on far too much. And you look at a place like California, this is not going to help someone like Jenner get elected. We are seeing massive gains with conservative Catholic Hispanic voters, working class Hispanics in the Rio Grande Valley and across the country. You put Jenner at the top of the ticket, it's going to completely destroy all the gains that the Republicans have been making on that front, and we gain nothing in return. So this just goes to show that if we stick to our guns, we stick to our principles, and we stop caving to the left, we will win, we will gain more support, and we will show that we're the party of science, we're the party that has reason behind us, and we're not going to, kowtow to these ridiculous notions of gender biology or whatever they may be.